Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there is a lot to get into in today's podcast. Good morning, sports fans. It's Thursday. Let's move right into the debates today as we have a lot to discuss, including that game last night in Boston, the latest on Tony Romo, and a lot more. Skip and Shannon, let's debate.
Very excited. Today is my brother's 52nd birthday.
Oh, happy
and
birthday.
I wanted to
Hi,
tell him,
Sterling. Happy
big
birthday.
Bro, happy birthday. Thank you. A lot of the guy that you see sitting over here today is because of him. And so I want to say I love you.
Oh, well, in that case, not a happy birthday.
And thank you for everything you've done. And it's also, Skip, one of my followers, this lady, asked me Sunday.
Oh, this is trouble.
No, she asked me, Shannon, will you wear blue? I was like, why am I going to wear blue? It's Autism Awareness Month.
Okay.
I said, and I didn't know. I said, well, I had my outfit already picked out for Monday.
Yeah.
She said, well, it's for the whole month. I said, well, can I wear it like anytime? So just to get her off my back, I'm decked out in blue.
You are wearing all blue, yes.
And I'm kind of formal because Pete LaPage, LeBron said, wear something real nice for me today, Shannon.
Well, Skip has blue on, too.
Yeah. LeBron said, wear something real nice for me, Shannon.
So this show is all about you. It's okay.
No,
it's okay.
no, not this show, just this topic, just this block, right, this segment.
We'll
All right,
see.
well, let's start with a big win for the Cavs. The Cavs blew out the Celtics on the road last night and are now a game up on Boston. In the East, LeBron James scored a game-high 36 points in the win. The Cavs have now won 4 straight. After the game, LeBron was asked if the Cavs made a statement. Let's take a listen.
Nah, it's no statement game. Statement for ourselves. We need to continue to get better. And tonight we did that. That's all it's about. We don't need to have a statement for anybody but ourselves. And tonight was good for our group. I'm even keeled about about the process. Going down the final stretches of the season. So there's no ceiling too high for us, and we understand that, and we want to continue to get better.
Skip, are the Cavs back?
No, they are not back yet. And you told me yesterday this game didn't matter at all. The King told me 2 days ago this didn't matter. Not the King of Akron, the King of Drama.
Akron.
Yeah, King of Akron. Stop it. So I'm going to throw this result out. It didn't even count. It didn't matter. The Cavs are still struggling. And I should have seen this coming. It was the classic trap game for the Boston Celtics in their building. I made this bet with you. We bet whatever it was, a case of something. Due. Mine was due. But that was before I knew that Tristan Thompson was going to be out for this game. And then Chris Broussard came right on top of me and made another bet with you against the Cavaliers that he loves. And I should have known I was doomed and jinxed by Chris Broussard. Yeah.
So you blaming Chris for this.
I am. I should have known. I should have rescinded my bet at that moment. Classic trap game. The Cavaliers came in having lost 9 of 10 road back-to-backs. The Cavaliers came in, trap game, 19-19 on the road, which is shockingly bad for a defending champion. They came in, as I keep pointing out, now 22-19 in their last 41 games. And they came in having needed 2 overtimes to beat the 37-39 Indiana Pacers in the King of Drama's house back near Akron, Ohio.
Okay.
They came in with LeBron having played 52 minutes in that game and then needing to play 37 more minutes just the night before when the Cavaliers in the King of Drama's house in Cleveland, Ohio, had to really turn it up a notch in the second half because they were trailing the 27-50 Orlando Magic at halftime of the game the night before. So we add all that up, and it was the classic case of, wait a second, Tristan Thompson has a bad wrist and he's going to miss this game. And Boston said, this is going to be so easy, and it was way too easy. The Celtics thought they could take the night off. They could just go through the motions, which it looked like from the start they were just going through. Can we see the first first shot that the Cavaliers missed? I knew I was in trouble because did you see Al Horford get the rebound on the first play? Here it is.
You got video?
He gets the rebound. Wait, here's the miss. He gets the rebound. Oh, wait a minute. JR just took the ball right out of his hands. And you know what? I sat right back in my room and I told Hazel, I'm watching with Hazel, my Maltese. I said, Hazel, Boston is not ready to play and the Cavaliers are going to play desperate tonight without Tristan Thompson. This was the classic LeBron game in which, for once, he got to play an entire nationally televised game with no pressure because there was no expectation because he'd played such high minutes and they were so bad on the road, and no Tristan Thompson and no expectations of LeBron James. So after he sat back for a while, he was quiet at the start of the game, but then he realized, wait a second, they're lifeless tonight, and they are cold tonight.
That's what he thought, huh?
And I'm going to attack tonight. And I loved the way LeBron played the first half because guess what he did? He had one big goose egg in the box score in the first half. 0 3-point attempts. That's the way to play it, LeBron. I scream for you to play it that way because you're unstoppable that way. He attacked the basket. He scored 19 in the first half. They led by 15, and I congratulated via Twitter my man Shannon Sharpe, although I called him La Shannon because that's his new nickname. He is La Shannon Sharpe, and I said, you won a rare bet with me. I said it on Twitter. I told all your followers to go back and tell you.
And you wanted them to tell me, huh?
Well, that's the only way, because you won't follow me, but they all say, well, what will he say next? And they go tell LaShannon what I said next. and it's okay, but it doesn't mean a thing because you taught me yesterday this game was meaningless. Congratulations.
You're right, Skip. They're not back because they never left, so they didn't have to come back.
Okay, yeah.
Skip, you know, and I told you this. When you challenge this man and he goes to that building, you remember Game 6?
Yeah.
You remember what happened, Skip?
Yeah, I remember the last series against the Celtics before he left to take his talents to South Beach. You remember that when his owner accused him of quitting against the Boston Celtics?
I mean, it's hard for me to imagine a guy that had 27 points, 19 rebounds, and 10 assists quit in a ball game. And the game before he
what
had...
Dan Gilbert said.
He said a lot of things. Skip, first of all, you said...
Phony laugh. Phony laugh.
Oh, I love what you've done with the place.
Yeah,
Skip,
you better laugh while you can.
Skip, hold on.
Yeah.
You said yesterday, sitting in that very seat, LeBron James now has a built-in excuse. He played 52 minutes in a double overtime.
That's precisely what he had.
And he had he played 37 minutes. LeBron, why are you playing? Now you got an excuse. Now he wins the ball game. You said the pressure was off.
It was.
First of all, Skip, when you're LeBron James and you're an all-time great pressure, expectations are always sky high. When has Tom Brady played a game after he won the Super Bowl?
Don't please.
I'm just asking you.
Don't put LeBron and Tom Brady in the same sentence because it's an insult to Tom Brady. It is.
Okay,
5 Super Bowl rings and should have 6 and 3 and 4 in the NBA. Are you kidding me? Stop.
Skip, all I'm asking you is when is the last time an all-time great player had low expectations? That's
last night. That's
not what you said. That's not what you said today,
I
though.
did too.
No.
I did too. I said the pressure's off. He's got a built-in excuse. Nobody expects LeBron to do anything on that game.
Skip, and here, this is what's so alarming. They didn't play that well. LeBron was 14 of 22. Kevin Love was 5 of 15. Shannon Sharpe, 3 of 7. Kyrie was 7 of 18.
But you know what? LeBron was really dominant in the second quarter. The game was over at halftime. I tweeted at halftime, this game is over, and it was a rout.
Well, the difference is that when you insert Shannon Sharpe in the lineup, it pulls Al Horford away from the basket because he has to guard Shannon Sharpe at the three-point line. So now there's no defense at the rim to meet LeBron once he gets past Jay Crowder. Skip, I told you this all along. All that woofing, all that talk. Now, because you told me that this is a nice sample size. He loves to use the word sample size. I didn't know what sample size means, but I guess it's a large portion or big body of something, right, Skip? This sample size of the Boston Celtics, they had won 9 of 11. They're averaging 7 points a game? 107 points a game. The Cavaliers held them to 91. That's the fewest points they've scored since November.
Where did Isaiah Thomas go from the three-point line? Help me out.
Skip.
You know the stats.
Skip,
LeBron knows the stats. 1 for 8. If their best scorer is going to go 1 for 8 from the three-point line, they are going to have trouble winning the game.
If he goes 8 for 8, they were not beat. Skip.
8 for 8, that would have been a game. It might have gotten close.
Then you'd have made LeBron score 50. Now he'd have had 50, 15, and 10. And you'd have been upset like, oh, he got a triple-double. He's trying to ease his name back into the MVP.
So wait a second.
Yes.
You mentioned Channing Frye. I thought he played big last night. And by the way, LeBron James, immediately after the game, with his stand-up interview on ESPN, said Channing had 10 and 8. So he already knew the box score. I don't know how he knows the box score. Does he sit on the bench reading the box score? I don't know. Does he keep it in his head? He might keep stats in his head.
Because we were beating the brakes. Skip, you know where the term beat the brakes come from?
No.
In the olden days, they had the cars, they had disc brakes. And sometimes they would get rusty.
That's way before my time.
And you would have to beat the brakes off the car to get them off, Joe. You know what I'm saying? So after LeBron had them beat the brakes off the Celtics, he's sitting on the sideline with 5 minutes to go looking at the stats line like, whoa!
Channing had 10 and 8.
Oh, hold on.
So help me out here.
That was after he looked at his stat line first. Because you know what you like to do, Skip?
Wait.
Plus minus. No, what's plus minus, Skip? Because when he's minus, LeBron James, the great LeBron, the king of Akron, was minus 32. What was he plus minus?
Do you think he leaned over to Ty Lue and said, I just need 4 more assists. Put me back in.
No!
He might have.
No, he don't do that. He don't need to do that.
He only had 6 assists last night.
That's it.
Huh?
That's it.
Oh, but wait a second. I look at this total down here, 51. The Cavaliers had 51 rebounds to the Celtics 38?
Yeah.
Wait, help me out. Did Tristan play? Maybe I missed it.
No.
So their best rebounder did not play, and the Cavs had 51-38 advantage on the backboards. And that means LeBron did have a lot of help. Wait a second. So he said, we're top heavy as you know what. He said that about a month ago. And yet, wait, they still had 51 rebounds without Tristan Thompson because, wait, Kevin Love had 16 rebounds. LeBron had 10. He could get 10 every night if he really cared about it and really wanted to.
No, that's not what that's not what was there. That's what Kevin Love. We paid Kevin Love $100 million for that.
Channing Frye, who's 7 feet tall, had 8 rebounds?
Yep.
Wow. That's pretty
good. Real good.
Yeah. So wait a minute. Maybe this team is pretty good around LeBron James. Maybe he should do what Charles Barkley said he's whining about not wanting to do. Just go compete. Go compete with what you have. You got a lot here, right?
Let's be 1,000% all the way real, Skip. You and I both know if the Celtics play the Cavaliers in a 7-game series, can they beat them one time? But they have no answer for LeBron. Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, they have no answer for him. So at the end of the day, if you can't stop him, because, you know, when they were playing really well, who needs Paul George? Who needs Jimmy Butler? Because here's the thing, though, Skip. The reason why you need them, not only can they slow him down somewhat, but they can also go get you 30. Jay Crowder's not getting you 30 points. Avery Bradley's not getting you 30 points while defending that guy.
In 7 playoff games against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals, will the Boston Celtics average shooting 7 of 33 from the three-point line? That's 21%. Is that what's going to happen?
In a 7-game series, will the Cleveland Cavaliers, will they shoot 33% when they normally shoot 38.7?
They just might, because the pressure will rise on them, because this team is really good, and this team played really poorly last night.
What do you say about
not into the game. And if they're going to shoot 7 for 33, it's going to look a lot worse than it will look when they play in the playoffs. And I'm pretty sure they will play in the playoffs.
So what about Kyrie? Kyrie going to shoot 7 to 18?
I don't know.
Kevin Love's going to shoot 5 to 15?
You know, because the King's going to need some help.
No, wait, hey. When the King comes to that building, Skip, the last time he was in that building in a playoff series, what did he do? Can you please tell our audience at home?
No, you tell them. You've done the research.
I forgot.
Your researchers like
45,
pulling
16.
the puppet strings from behind you.
45, 16 to 7.
Who is it today?
Skip.
Is it Steve?
Why are you doing this to me, Skip?
Steve
I don't
Owens.
like talking
Is he
about
back
LeBron.
there pulling the strings?
I don't like talking about
Steve,
LeBron.
where are you?
Well, he tried to feed me. So, you know, he's a graduate of Gonzaga.
Oh.
So he and I, we had a little, I had to break the ice. I told him how sorry I was.
Call it Gonzaga, or he's going to be
Gonzaga.
Thank you.
Well, heels.
Pull those strings, Steve.
Skip. All I'm saying is, why you do the King of Akron like that?
King of drama. Did you see what Ty Lue said before the game? We are a soap opera. He was making jokes about it, but they are. He said it's always
and
drama
LeBron is
with us.
Victor Newman. You like Young and the Restless?
No, I do not.
Victor Newman, he's been on that a long time. What about Jack Abbott?
I don't watch soap operas. I've never watched one soap opera. Well, that's...
What about Ridge Forrester?
I was a little kid. I was forced to. But
you know Ridge Forrester?
No.
Do you know anything?
I watch sports as opposed to somebody across from me who doesn't always watch sports, but that's okay.
Did you see LeBron?
Huh?
Did you see what LeBron did last night?
No, I did not.
Dude, what about the block?
Huh?
I thought it was Phil Dahlhauser. The way he was blocking shots, the thin beast. They tried to lay the ball up on him. He blocked it with both hands.
I thought it was who?
Phil Dahlhauser.
I have no idea who that is.
Beach volleyball?
I don't watch beach
The thin
volleyball.
beast, he's 6'8".
Where is this coming from? Joy, help me out.
I don't know.
You
I don't know.
Oh, can I get that block?
Help me out.
Hold on, watch LeBron on Jay Crowder.
I think Shannon's
Oh!
he's like he's in the LeBron days. He's just
Here's the block right here.
Yeah, random fast.
Woo! Skip, that's beach. The block in volleyball, Skip.
Wait, nobody's at the rim. Wait, why doesn't that guy ever do the dunk contest? That looked pretty good
That's
to me.
beneath us.
Oh, beneath us?
Us.
Us?
Us. We're 32. We ain't got them young legs like we used to have.
What was the excuse when he was young?
He didn't want to do it.
Because he was afraid he might get shown up on the solo stage that is the slam dunk
I like
contest.
guys that can dunk in the game. You see him dunking in the game left and right.
Really?
Yeah, left and right.
LeBron, you don't have to shoot free throws during the dunk
Hold on.
contest. It's not that
Hold on.
scary.
Hold on.
You can do it.
What was his
the
free-
judges would all give you 10s. They wouldn't even watch, and they just
Skip.
put up 10s.
What was his free throw percentage last night?
Wait, from 3, he was 1 for
Skip,
4.
I asked you
Wait a
free
second.
throw.
So in the second half, he did take 4 threes, and he made 1 of them. That means over the last 12 games, LeBron James from the three-point line is shooting 23%.
Can I ask you a
That'll
question?
get you beaten on most
How about
nights.
this? Over the last 4 games, what is the Cavs record?
They've beaten 3 bad opponents, and then 1 that took the night off and didn't take them seriously.
That's what we do. We beat you and make you
beat
take
you.
the night off. That's what we do. We beat you and make you take the night off.
I bet those jammies
it.
last night, those bronze jammies, they felt good.
I was
didn't
just
they?
sitting there. Skip,
Put them on, you said, I'm going to sleep good tonight.
You know what I did, Skip? I said the emoji, the clapping of the hands.
Yeah.
I said like 25 of them.
Did you?
And then I said, you know. Everybody already knew what I was
So
applauding.
wait, you send emojis on Twitter
Oh, already.
all the time?
The king, when I address him, it's a crown.
Guess how many emojis I've sent on Twitter in my life?
You don't even have the emoji app on your phone.
On my phone? Are you kidding me? No, I don't tweet off my phone. I tweet off my computer. Tonight, I'm watching games. I tweet.
I watched the game too, Skip.
Yeah?
I was watching the game too. I was watching
You
the
do
game.
emojis of what they're clapping?
They were
hands?
clapping. I had to applaud that. I had to applaud what LeBron was doing.
Yeah.
Giving it to Jay Crowder.
Wow.
Giving it to Avery Bradley.
I wonder
Skip.
if Bron went back and looked at your tweet.
Joy, did you see when he blocked the shot? He went in the stands and was high-fiving the Celtics fans.
I saw that.
They were running down like, I just want to
No,
touch
he
his
was,
hand.
he was high-fiving Cav fans who were there.
Skip Bayless.
It was Cav fans.
You saw some of
I
the guys in the
saw
green
it.
jersey that had
I
Avery
saw it.
Bradley,
No.
had an Isaiah
Well,
Thomas
those-
jersey on.
The
Just
Celtics fans that if they did participate probably won't be let back in the building.
Joy,
Sure.
think about it. You can either say I slapped high five with Jay Crowder or I slapped high five with LeBron James.
I think in Boston.
Or you can have
would
some
you-
sports integrity.
What? That's LeBron. So let me ask you a question. When Michael Jordan showed up to the building, did they say, "Oh, you got to have some sports integrity"? I'm not going to shake his
No, but
hand.
Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time.
Well, LeBron.
The Cavs now have a
LeBron's
one-game
number 2 right
lead
now.
over the Celtics and hold a tiebreaker with 4 games left in the season.
The whole what?
No mercy. Russell Westbrook was 1 rebound away from breaking the single-season triple-double record last night. He scored 45 points in the win over the Grizzlies. We're joined by former NBA champ Eddie House. Eddie, is Westbrook the MVP?
I don't even know why it's a discussion. There's no
Thank
doubt.
You. Thank you.
We're watching something that hasn't happened since 1962. It's almost like somebody batting 400. It's all folklore. To triple-double has been folklore forever. Batting 400, folklore forever. Even the Triple Crown in baseball. Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown and got MVP. His team wasn't the best team. They got into the playoffs, played a divisional game. This is something that I don't understand. People, James Harden should be the MVP. Now, I love James Harden. Forks up, Arizona State University.
You got it.
But he's in 3rd place. He's not in 1st place. This dude is.
Where's Russell?
They're in 6th.
Oh, okay.
But what's the difference between 3rd and 6th?
Not much.
If you're first, you know this. If you ain't first, you ain't what?
You ain't
If you're not first,
Thank
you're
you.
last.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ricky.
How about this? How about
So
this?
look, I got this one too. They keep trying to water down and poke holes in his triple double, and they say, oh, rebounding, all this rebound. He has 209 more rebounds than James Harden. That's 209 more possessions. And what's the most important thing in basketball? Possession of the basketball. So bottom line, this guy is outplaying him, and that's it. He averaged a triple double. Give him his love. Give him his
Come on,
credit. Stop
Shannon.
hating.
You know what? You got to stop hating.
hating.
You
You know
got to
what?
give it up
hating.
and give in.
I'm allergic to haters. I don't want to break out highs on
It's
TV.
over.
Please don't hate on
You
me.
know what?
Over, Shannon.
You know what, Eddie, I ain't want to do you like this. I had all this argument for Skip. But I got to give it to you now.
I
got to
give it to him.
Because normally I give it to, I say this out of the choir because I look at you as the choir because you already know what's going on.
Wait, is this Steve Owens doing the puppet?
No. Okay. You said he's not in first place. Last year, James Harden averaged 29 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. His team finished in 6th place. He finished in 6th place.
Mm-hmm.
How about this?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't make first team, second team, or third team All-NBA. Team finished in 6th place. Russell Westbrook.
That's last year.
Hold on. Wait a second now, hold on. Russell Westbrook is going to finish in 6th place, but now he's an MVP candidate. Now, you just said he's accounted for 209 more possessions than James Harden, but James Harden accounted for 1 more point, his team, than Russell Westbrook. So with those 209 possessions, he's still averaging fewer points. Total. When you average his points scored and his assists, he's still averaging less with 209 more possessions than James Harden. Now, Russell Westbrook has 5 games in which he's missed at least 20 shots. The rest of the NBA has 5 games in which they've missed at least 20 shots. James Harden.
That's all they have,
Whoa.
Sink or swim,
Hold on.
Russell.
Now, you just said earlier today, you don't know what's happened with Steven Adams. Steven Adams was a baller last year, big baller, doing big things.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to him now?
I don't know.
Well, hold on. I thought you told me that Russell doing all this thing, he's supposed to make everybody better. James Harden's making these guys better.
Steven Adams.
He's a product of. He's also a product of that system. Everybody has career years with Dan. Not a knock on James again, but everybody has career years under D'Antoni. I played with D'Antoni, had my best offensive year. It's no secret. In Phoenix, it's no secret that D'Antoni, if you have the right guys, which they do in Houston, and he has a much better team. Number one, with shooters everywhere, Ryan Anderson, Eric Gordon. Trevor Ariza could defend and hit the corner 3. It has a much better team than Russell Westbrook. And if he doesn't get triple doubles, guess what happens? They lose.
He getting triple double and they're still in 6th place.
But if he don't get them, they lose. They not even in the playoffs. We're not even talking about it. We're not even talking about him in no place.
Did Kevin Durant leave James Harden? No, wait, he left Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Left him for dead. And look at him. He's in 6th place, but they're 45-33. And Oklahoma City has beaten San Antonio and Cleveland and Houston, and now has beaten Memphis, a really good team, 3 times.
And lost to the
Hold on
Hornets.
just a second. He's beaten the Jazz 3 times. He's swept the Celtics. Wait a second. He's even beaten the Clippers twice. Look at all those big stage wins over all those teams.
Didn't they lose to the Hornets? Didn't they lose to the Hornets in Sacramento?
They did.
Big teams? Big teams, too.
Sacramento beat Golden State.
In the playoffs.
Huh?
In the playoffs. Lost to the Nuggets, too, huh?
32-9 when he triple doubles. That's pretty great. Last night was just sensational. He wins on the road at Memphis against a Memphis team that's been hot, and he wills in 2 late threes. Now, I got to tell you.
No Mike Conley, though.
Okay, he didn't play. I agree. He and Kawhi banged faces the other night, and it cost him some stitches. But the point is that it was at Memphis, and he makes 8 threes out of 13 attempts, which is a career high. He is shooting a career high 35% from 3. He was a poor 3-point shooter until this year. He has turned himself into a really good 3-point shooter.
What's LeBron from the 3 this year?
I can tell you what he is for the last 12 games. He's shooting 23% from 3.
Man,
you like that? Can you defend that?
They're going to be playing games in August if they've only played 12 games.
Wow.
They play 82-game season, so how did they going to get these last 70 in?
He's 13 for his last 56 threes.
What is his percentage?
That's horrible.
That is.
Do you know? Because you haven't sniffed
deplorable.
Yet, so no, you don't.
I do know. Skip. What is LeBron's 3-point percentage?
Guess what? In his last 5 games, Russell Westbrook is 25 of 54. That's 46.3%. That is sensational, man. As they're trying to make a push to get to 5.
Think about what you just said. In the last 5 games, he's shooting 43%, and on the season, he's 46%. And for the seasons, he's 35. So before he went on this torrid pace, what was he?
He's averaging the triple-double for a season.
Oh, man, triple-double.
There you go.
How about that?
That's the totality of the whole season.
You like round numbers.
No, I don't. I know how hard it is to get a double-double, let alone get a triple. I never got a triple-double in the league, let alone average that. You know how hard that is? We talk about it like it's like, oh, you could just go out there and because people are you think the other team trying to let him do it?
No, his team is letting him do it, get the rebound.
But the other team is trying to stop it too.
Yeah. No, they ain't trying to. Oh, he blocked.
Oh, they letting him get rebounds, and they letting him score 30, and they letting him get 10 assists.
No.
And the assist is the hardest thing for him. As you can see, he gonna have shot makers.
Hey,
so when he kicking ball, he has nobody that can knock down shots.
Points are easy because he's shooting 24 times a game. That's 5
mean,
more.
we not talking. Okay, we talking about the triple-double though.
But here's the thing though, his team is. How many times?
His team has 11 games over 500. What more do you want somebody that's averaging 12 over, a triple-double? What more do you want him to do?
Let me ask you.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
What you want him to do?
What more do you want somebody to do? That's doing something you ain't never seen in your life.
No, I've never seen it.
So then, damn.
There are a lot of things I haven't seen in my life. That don't mean he's the MVP.
No.
So James Harden.
So Oscar Robertson in his day in 1962 was getting almost 40 possessions more, according to Chris Broussard, 30 to 40 possessions more a game, because the game was just up and down, up and down. And this guy, in 10 minutes fewer a night, he's playing 34 minutes versus 44 for
But he's
Oscar.
probably shooting
averaging a triple-double.
And guess it, Oscar was playing 10 more minutes, and I guarantee you Russell was shooting more times.
Yeah. Where would this team be without Russell Westbrook making so many late shots?
Isn't that the most valuable player? Now, who is the most valuable player this season and the most valuable to their team? Russell Westbrook, hands down. Take him off.
Over.
They are not in the playoffs, and he's not doing the triple. Come on,
valuable player to his team, LeBron James. Tell the truth,
I'm gonna tell you this. No, Kyrie is super important too. He took all of the ball handling duties away from LeBron. LeBron used to bring the ball up a lot. That takes time, and that takes work, takes effort, and it drains you a little bit.
If LeBron James is not on the Cleveland, if everything in Cleveland is the same,
I know
except
you love
LeBron. What are they?
I know you love LeBron.
What are they without LeBron?
What's the same thing? There you go. It's the same thing. What are they without Russell Westbrook?
They're sixth.
No, what are they without him?
Oh, they wouldn't be in the playoffs.
Okay. And if LeBron is not on Cleveland, where they at?
Playoffs.
Okay. So, and he having a triple-double.
In the East, though.
Thank you.
Shannon, who's the closer for the Cavaliers?
LeBron.
He's not the closer.
No, he's not.
Did you see last night?
Kyrie
Did you see last night?
Thank you.
Did you see last night?
Did you hear him? He played with
I saw
LeBron.
last night the game was over at halftime. Did he have to close in the second quarter? I'll give you, he closed the game in the second
that's
quarter.
what he did.
I'll give you that one.
What about Indiana?
Huh?
What about Indiana? Who
He didn't close that game.
Huh?
The King? Are you kidding me? Paul George closed the game for Indiana. Missed a free throw that would have won the game.
Oh, so to see what he did.
He opened the door for the King.
That's what the King do.
That's what the King do. King of drama.
Last
it's okay, LeShannon. Give it up.
Last 9 minutes of the fourth quarter. That's okay. Me and LeBron, when we in Cleveland, I came on this show last year in May and told him, I said, I'm going to Cleveland to drive the fire truck because they're going to be winning the They're not winning. I said, I'm going to be in Cleveland. Send him the picture.
Who's the most valuable player on the Golden State Warriors? Don't sigh. Draymond. And what happened in Game 4? Draymond got himself suspended, and you can't tell me you weren't sweating and had given up the ghost on that one.
I won't worry about because LeBron went and got that 41 and got another 41, and when he got to Game 7, see, everybody can swim in a pool, but very few people can swim in the ocean. So LeBron drug him way out. Drug him way out there. That's it, now swim back to shore. Steph was
Golden State, they can only swim in the little
Steph said, I can only doggy paddle. Clay's like, I can't swim.
I think he's the most important player on their team, Klay Thompson, actually.
Well,
without him, they don't go to the finals without him last year.
Really?
They did Oklahoma. They was down 3-1.
He
went to work, and he defends on the other end. Best player every time.
Well, KD was trying to end the game in the first quarter, jacking up all them shots. You saw him shot 15 times. You saw it with your own eyes, Eddie. Tell the truth.
Yeah, I did. I think Russ, because Russ is my favorite player watching play because he plays so hard. Every possession looks like he cares. Yeah. A lot of guys out there look like they don't care playing basketball, but he looked like he cared. I think last year what happened, he wanted to close it out so bad, he got ahead of himself, started turning it over. That's what, I mean, he had so many turnovers last in that series, and that's what hurt him. Up 3-1, if he would have just, and I think you've seen the maturation process. He take care of the ball a little bit better. He's playing at a better pace.
Let LeBron get 3-1.
He's the MVP,
Let
man.
LeBron get 3-1 on somebody.
Eddie,
MVP.
I'm out.
MVP.
Eddie, help me out here. How do you explain the greatest meltdown ever for a superstar that we saw in 2011?
Come on, man, stop bringing that up, please. Can you stop bringing that up?
Psychoanalyze.
No,
what happened?
I'm not talking about that. LeBron, I love you, man.
You don't hear Healy, you're talking about go?
Go?
Rap, yeah, somebody lay out.
We have plenty of time. Let me do my job,
Okay.
all right?
Lay out, Joe.
I know what I'm doing.
Wait a second. For the record,
Yes.
you are still not giving up the ghost of James Harden for MVP? You're going to stick with that?
Skip,
You're looking a little
he
more
bumped his head this
foolish
morning.
by
That's
the
what
day.
happened.
No.
He fell out of bed and bumped your head
This
this morning. That's what happened.
Look, I watched a little bit of the game because once the game got uninterested in Boston, I was watching and I'm like, man, this dude, if these voters watching this game.
Oh, so you've given it up. It's over?
No, I'm just saying, Skip. I mean, it's 40 after what he did last night. It's gonna be hard for James Harden. I mean, I love what James is doing, but it's looking more and more because Russ is getting 45, 44.
Hit the 50-point triple-double. I mean, come on.
And then he tried to miss the free throw on purpose and get an offensive rebound. You
He
saw that
did,
last
and
night,
it
too.
swished.
Yeah, you saw that too, didn't you?
Hey, what's wrong with it? Who don't do that? Who wouldn't do that?
LeBron.
You please.
LeBron don't do that.
Yeah, he not averaging a triple-double.
Let me see.
He don't even want
And he
it.
don't have the record. That's the other thing. He about to break the record for most triple doubles in a season, and average one, which we ain't never seen, and we still having a discussion. Why people hate Russ so much, man? Shout out to Russell Westbrook, man. No hater over here, okay?
Oscar Robertson averaged a triple-double his first 5 years.
And
Okay, what
nobody
does that
even
mean?
noticed. Nobody even knew what it was.
That's what he said.
ain't talking about back then.
Because now you put emphasis on nice, round numbers.
Yeah, well, that's what they doing nowadays.
I want 10 of this and 10 of that. It's like the sub 4-minute mile. For the longest time, nobody thought it could be done, and then Roger Bannister went up under the 4-minute mile. Now everybody goes up.
Maybe it's just that Russell makes it look so easy that we take it for granted.
Yeah, James Harden make it look easy too. That left
I
hand-
think you just admitted defeat, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And it was
I got-
big of you.
I got to unbutton my
It
jacket.
was
like
big
this,
for him.
step back
Eddie
like-
beat you down. That's what happened.
Wait, are
You
you
couldn't
left?
handle Skip and Eddie.
No, I'm right-handed.
Well, why'd you shoot it left?
Because I'm
doing
like James
James
Harden.
James Harden.
James Harden.
He was James Harden.
It looked good. It looked ambidextrous.
It did look. He had a little follow through everything.
I have skills there. I have skills.
No mercy. Boston Herald is reporting Richard Sherman would be, quote, amenable to a trade to the Super Bowl champion Patriots. Seahawks GM John Schneider said they have discussed the possibility of trading Sherman with other teams. Reports say that the Patriots would be interested in acquiring Sherman if they lose defensive back Malcolm Butler. Skip, do you think that Sherman would be a good fit in New England?
Well,
Speaking of
obviously, I
personalities.
think he would be, yes, thank you. I think he'd be a great fit, but this is also sticking in my craw because Bill Belichick continues to attack the offseason as if his team was the one as a number 1 seed that lost its divisional round game at home. That happened to be in the other conference, and that happened to be Jerry Jones' Dallas Cowboys, who continue to sit back and do next to nothing.
There's a little method
In
to
the
the
offseason?
madness, Skip.
That's what he said. Some method to the madness? I think it just seems like madness to me
I
right now,
agree.
right?
I agree.
And I have advocated again and again on this show, on Twitter, on Facebook, Jerry, wake up. It's on a silver platter for you to go get Richard Sherman. I'm not the biggest fan of Richard off the field, but on the field, I'm a big fan. And I think he had a really good year. You were hard on him, which you should have been, because you said he turned into a dirty player.
Yep.
And maybe that was some insecurity on his part. But in the end, the stats tell you that he was, if not the best corner, he was at
Yeah, he's
the
still top 5
2 or
corner.
3.
Yeah, he's still top
okay?
5 corner, no question.
And so Jerry Jones is sitting there with the 28th overall pick in the
Yes.
bottom of the first round.
Right.
Just give it up for Richard Sherman. You and I have agreed before.
Yeah.
Is there anybody in the draft who would be better right now than Richard Sherman for the next, 3 years?
Yep.
No, nobody. So Bill Belichick, the rich just keep getting richer. Again, I don't know why he's down on Malcolm Butler. I think he's just done with him, attitude-wise, and maybe because he's a little bit of an overachiever. He's a little smallish.
I think the thing is he's tired of Malcolm Butler. Malcolm Butler, I don't think is really trying to give them a hometown discount.
Yep.
He's like, look, where I started from, I want to get compensated for my work. This deal makes no sense to me because I think Malcolm Butler is younger, and you want to pay Richard Sherman $13 million on your cap. I don't think Malcolm Butler's wanting that. He does want Stephon Gilmore's money.
He does.
And absolutely, he deserves it because I've achieved this on your ball club. You still don't know what Gilmore's going to do. He did that in Buffalo. We've seen a lot of guys do well at one location, come to another location, and they're not the same player. So Butler is saying, hey, what about me? Go ahead.
Okay. So to me, I still say that right here, right now, because you say Tom Brady's only going to last for 2 more good years,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Well, maybe if Belichick's with you on that view, then maybe he's saying,
plunging
I
on
got to maximize my window here with my superstar quarterback. And if I'll take Richard Sherman right now over Malcolm Butler, money or no money. If the money is a wash as far as their cap goes, if they can fit him in right now, after all the great moves they've pulled off in the offseason, obviously Brandon Cooks, and they kept Hightower, and I can go on and on, to Dwayne Allen. Then if you can start at corner, Stephon Gilmore, the most valuable corner out there in the free agent market, and Richard Sherman, arguably the best corner in pro football or one of the top 3, you're dominating on defense next year, right?
Yeah.
And they got Coney Ealy to rush the passer. I don't know what's not to like. I mean, I would take Richard right now over Malcolm Butler, and I love the way Malcolm plays. I love his spirit and his spunk, but a lot of times he'll get beaten, and then he'll come back and make a play.
Yeah, he makes plays.
But Richard doesn't get beaten. Again, the stats are that for every 15 snaps and coverage that he played, he only gave up 1 catch, which was #1 in the NFL. So I'll take that to my bank.
Of course, this would be a great move for Sherman and New England if they were able to pull this off. But you're seeing normally teams that are trying to trade a player or acquire a player, they're very mum about this. The Seattle Seahawks have been very outspoken. I think they're trying to wash their hands of Richard Sherman. Because the general manager, John Snyder, says, this is real. This is real talk. Normally it's like, well, look, we don't talk about who might come or who might go. We just keep that between us, and whatever happens, happens.
Isn't that the message of we are open for business?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Because here's the thing. Richard Sherman is very outspoken, and some teams will tolerate that, but they won't tolerate you being outspoken and disrespectful. I thought Richard Sherman was not only disrespectful, he was openly and blatantly disrespectful. Because this is what we know. Guys that have been outspoken and maybe caused some distractions in other locker rooms. Randy Moss, when he got to New England, he didn't act like he did in Minnesota and Oakland. Ocho Cinco, when he got to New England, he didn't pull the stuff he pulled in Cincinnati. And what about Corey Dillon? Corey Dillon got so upset once at the Cincinnati Bengals, he took his shoulder pads, his helmet, and threw them in the stands. When he got to New England, he was a model citizen. So Richard Sherman, I can assure you, when he gets to New England, he will be a model citizen. Skip, I don't have a whole lot of money. Okay, I got a little bit. I bet whatever I got, he will not go to Coach Belichick if they throw the ball on the 1-yard line on 4th down or the ball gets picked. I guarantee you, he will not walk up to Bill Belichick and say, you will not do that again. You will not sacrifice.
If he does, if he dares to do that, you know where he'll be the next day.
I know what he'd be the next day. He gone.
That night.
Coach Belichick going to say, he going to pull a Mike Singletary like he did Vernon Davis. Go on in.
Go on in.
And when I get there, you don't need to be there. Because you already know how this is going to go. But see, I don't put all this on Richard Sherman. I put a lot of this on Pete Carroll. You said you like for your players to be open. You like for them to be able to speak freely. Because here's the thing. You better put limitations on what you give players. Because if you don't, they won't put limitations on what they take. My grandfather told me that, Skip. He said, boy, I got to put limitations on what I give you.
You know, I wish I'd been raised by your grandfather and your grandmother. You had the ideal childhood.
How do we not have a montage of all of Shannon's grandparents?
He told me and my brother, he said, boy, I got to put limits on what I give you. Because you two fellas, y'all don't put limitations on what y'all take.
Wow.
I mean, you going to give me a quarter, why not ask for another one, Joe? I mean, what?
You realize how much wisdom you got taught?
That's the difference, Skip. Some things you learn. You see, education is what you learn. Wisdom is what you acquire. I just made that up, Skip. I just made that up, Skip.
No, you didn't.
I swear I did.
Your grandfather said that.
No, but that's the thing, Skip. It's amazing how guys can cause so much dysfunction. And I'm not saying Richard caused dysfunction. I mean, we see him blow up on the sideline. We've seen some things happen. But when they go to New England, it's like they're in this Zen place. It's like they're in this utopia and everything is hunky-dory.
Well, we heard Chad Johnson say it's something when you walk in the door, it's like it's got to be like prison, like the door shut behind you. Like whatever you did behind there is not coming in here. I can
promise you, everybody that goes to New England, they've already had a conversation with Coach Belichick.
Yeah.
Coach Belichick is telling them, has told them what he expects from them and how the operation goes.
It would be interesting to see Richard Sherman in Dallas, though. I do think he would be able to keep a little more of his personality down there.
He would, and they need a real player on defense, somebody that you truly have to game plan against.
Because you know they're going cornerback or they're going D-line in the draft. You ask yourself, at the 28th pick, can that guy give you the production that Richard Sherman can give you over the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, and leadership, too.
Look, I love Sean Lee, but does he strike fear in a
He's not Luke Kuechly.
No.
He's not Wagner.
No, I thought he was great last
year. Yes.
He plays so hard and he flies around and he can defend the pass, but he's not the guy you have to game plan against.
But those guys.
Richard Sherman, you're a little afraid of him. Like, ooh.
He has a reputation back there. No mercy. Rob Gronkowski participated in WrestleMania on Sunday. That led Mike Freeman of Bleacher Report to write that some current NFL players believe Gronk is held to a different standard than other players. The players said a player like Cam Newton could not do what Gronk does without public backlash. We're joined by Chris Carter. Good morning. Welcome, Chris.
Good morning.
Do you agree there's a double standard with Gronk?
A double standard by who? By the NFL, by the Patriots organization, or just by public perception? Perception. Well, there's always a different perception for people who are talented. You always talk about, right? Tolerance and talent.
Production.
Right? And production.
Yep.
So Gronk is not the first person that we have allowed to be loose with the thing that I like about Gronk, and this is what I believe he's authentic. I believe this is who he is.
Yeah.
And he's been this way since he's come into the league. And I don't know if there's a double standard, but I'm glad that there's a guy who can go through his career, because this business is tough. But he's a fun-loving guy. And he can be as close to his personality as he tries to grow up and learn to be a professional athlete. Now, people might think that there's a double standard. I don't think there's a double standard, because I think he's being who he is. Now, as far as New England's concerned, and position, being a tight end compared to being a quarterback, a decision maker, I think that if he was a quarterback, yes, he would get criticized, because we criticize the quarterbacks about everything. But I think that, and I'll use you as an example, Shannon. If you were playing in the league today, I don't think there would be a double standard for you. I think that you would be doing things a lot like him. I mean, you'd be taking care, you wouldn't be doing silly things, but you would be doing things to increase your brand with your fitness and the things you're interested in this day.
Right.
Like if you were playing and you were as good as you were.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing about Gronk now. He's a great football player.
Right.
Okay, so you have to put that out there first. So with our great athletes, do we have a greater degree of tolerance? Yes. I think that there is a little, kind of musclehead, meathead kind of thing people think about Gronk. But I don't think there's a double standard, and I'm really glad that he's enjoying his time in the National Football. Given the injuries he's had, we don't know how long this is going to last.
But that's the thing. The man had back surgery in December, and he's doing WrestleMania. Let me ask you a question. You think Carolina let Cam Newton throw out the first pitch for the Atlanta Braves?
No, probably not.
Oh, okay. Because let me ask you a question. If Odell Beckham Jr. does this, slamming beers during the parade after the Super Bowl, is that going to be okay?
No, that's not going to be okay.
So, in other words, it is a double standard.
Well,
let me put it to you like this.
I said if Gronk was drinking a beer, anytime I seen Gronk drinking a beer, I would be expecting Gronk to drink a beer. Now, Odell or some other people, I don't think we could probably use other examples, but I just think because of alcohol, alcohol just brings a different set of optics to the situation. Yeah. Now, life is not fair. Yeah. Okay. And there's a different set of standards for a lot of different people in different organizations.
You know what I love?
I used to have the receiver coach. He used to tell a young guy, used to ask the receiver coach, hey, what about that route where Chris run? He said, hey, don't run that like them. He said, well, Chris just ran it like that. Well, no, you can't do that. Chris can do that. All right? Because he's been here a long time.
You know what I noticed? And this is the thing. It's funny. You don't mind if I do this. You don't mind if I unbutton Jack. I want to sit up here like CC, because CC come up here sometime and he unbutton the jacket. He said, I just want to know, when can black athletes get an opportunity to just be themselves? We see this with that's just him. That's just him talking. That's just Gronk just being Gronk. But we have to suppress who we are. Because if we don't suppress who we are, no matter if we're tolerant, ask Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman's outspoken. Now, here the team that's trying to trade Richard Sherman's productive. He's top 5 corner. But guess what? They won't tolerate certain things. Rob Gronkowski drinking beer on the parade route. He's doing WrestleMania. Now, he's had 2 back surgeries. He's missed 24 regular season games. So that's a year and a half of regular season. He's missed 6 playoff games due to injury. He goes and asks his bosses, can he participate in WrestleMania? Now, you've seen guys break their neck in WrestleMania. They've broken their arm. They've torn ligaments. They've hurt their backs. His bosses give him their blessing. What black athlete would have had the gumption to go ask their bosses after having surgery and missing a lot of the regular season and the playoffs, have the gall to go ask them?
Yeah, you make a good point.
CC, you love basketball.
Yes.
But let CC miss 8 games in the regular season and their playoff run and say, I got a charity basketball
The last
game.
12 years of my contract, I had a no basketball clause in my contract. So for a long period of time, I couldn't play no basketball. So that is true. Yes.
By the way, I'm trying to think of...
Because they knew that I'd be somewhere playing basketball. And after that, I tried to make sure that I said, Randy, be careful, because we worked out a lot together. Be careful. Try not to get that. Yeah, try not to get that stipulation in your contract, because all of our guaranteed money, because we played a lot of basketball with our guaranteed money on the line.
Well, I'm going to say, before you go, Skip, I'm going to dry snitch on CC. Well, in 93, after the 93 season, in 94, Deion Sanders had a charity basketball game, and he played in it, too. He was dunking, too. I'm dry snitching.
Is that against the rules?
Yeah, it was against the rules.
It was against the rules, but, to me, I was living.
That was before.
But nothing happened, so...
That was before social media.
Yeah, that was before social... Yes, that is all true. And your snitches get stitches.
You got it. So, just for the record, in my time on television, I have criticized Rob Gronkowski's behavior pretty regularly for bad look behavior or for dangerous behavior that could threaten his ability to stay healthy the next season on the field.
Right.
And my quick 2 examples of that, after the Patriots lost the 2nd Super Bowl to Eli Manning, Gronk had hurt it but really wrecked his ankle in the AFC Championship game. And he tried to play, limped through the game, caught 2 balls for 26 yards, then was captured on cell video after the game, just dancing his back end off at the post-game losers party.
Moved a lot better at the party than he did on the field.
It appeared to me he did. Which
Drugs that kicked in.
I don't know.
A couple painkillers,
yeah,
yes.
You could be right. So then lately, as you know, just the other day, I was pretty critical of Gronk for... I don't know that the Patriots gave him the right to go do that, because I don't know if they knew that he was going to get in a 3-point stance and charge across the ring and run headlong into another wrestler coming off his 3rd back surgery. It's your career, pal. And again, he's been about as dominating a receiver as we've seen and I'm throwing him into the whole class of receivers.
Yeah,
no, absolutely.
Anybody who catches the football.
No, he's
I'm not
special.
sure there's anybody out there who can do what he does when he's right. But he hadn't been right a whole lot. And he's on a little thin ice, I'm going to guess, with his head coach about how much longer is he going to last.
Oh, there is no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be conflict on every player leaving New England, even Tom Brady. Yeah. That's why Tom Brady's putting that message out, not to Belichick. You don't see him Belichick talk about. Who did he put it out to? Craig. To the owner. I'm going to stay here 6 or 7 years. Now, the thing that I like about Gronk, and you hear this from the Patriots staff and the players, that they've never seen Gronk have a bad day. Like, this is who he is. Yeah. And when he comes to work, he works hard as anyone in the building. Every day that he has been on their roster, he's been one of the hardest, if not the hardest worker within the organization.
Quick point, Brady swears by his football IQ, that he really gets it. He knows his routes and he knows where to be and not to be.
You can see that by the game film, because you can't move a guy unattached from the tight end position, move him outside, check the coverage. Now, if you play man-to-man, they're going to run a route. But if you play zone, they'll bring him back into the formation, put him into the backfield, and that takes a special athlete. And we know that players have struggled, especially wide receivers, with the system in New England. But no one has ever been. Gronk might look like a musclehead, but he got really good football IQ and got good sense on the football.
The thing is with New England, a lot of teams, especially if you're a great player, they'll let you ad-lib. There's no ad-libbing in New England. You run what is called. There's no options. Well, I thought this. No. This is what you're going to run. And because if you're an ad-libber, you're going to struggle in that offense.
Right.
Because,
they do have read options, but you don't have the option. It's either, if they play cover 2, and instead of running the dig, I'm going to run a corner route. And the quarterback knows that.
Yeah. You better be on his page, too.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
But a lot of this, Skip, think about this, CC. We looked, Steve and my talented researcher, we looked it up. Gronk makes $4.75 million with that kind of production. That's what he makes.
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's he got a $6 million cap hit.
He has been penalized there for his off-field dangerous
I can name 5, 7 tight ends that have a higher cap number than Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And there's not one tight end that you would take over Gronk when he's on his game.
Yep. Okay.
No, New England did the great thing. They went ahead. They got ahead of the noise. Yep. Signed him to an extension. All right, he was not a high draft pick, so he was able to get compensated based on where he was playing, and now they get the relief by having him at a very, very friendly number for a number of years.
Yeah.
So has he gotten a pass because most people see him as this lovably goofy frat boy? Yeah, but is he authentically that guy? Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
has he grown up some over the last few years? I think so. It looks like he has. He's
But,
matured some.
But it just appears to me that a lot of African Americans have to suppress who they are.
Okay. So I was trying to think when you brought that up. The only one who comes close to Gronk in getting passes for crazy behavior is Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
And I covered him in Chicago, and he would be allowed to get away with a little more because that's just Dennis.
Yes.
You know, just Dennis.
But basketball is different than football.
Okay. But
Yes.
Dennis could also back it up on
Yes.
the
Right.
floor.
I
Woo!
would say Randy Moss was in that category.
Okay.
You know, he was allowed to be himself. Now, I was able to help him,
You did.
you know, hey, Moss, now this would be good. This ain't going to be so good.
Yeah.
So we avoided some fires. Now, we did get burned a few times, but in the whole process, he ended up getting the type of career that I thought that he should have and end up transitioning to a second career very nicely.
I think that this discussion should probably be limited to football because basketball, I mean, baseball, they're spraying champagne in the locker room. They're spraying champagne.
We would be able to have the
after lots of
basketball
championships.
conversation if we were talking about San Antonio. If there was a player on
Right.
San
That'd be
Antonio,
different.
that'd be a nice
But the point that you
One
brought
time
up,
Rodman was on San Antonio. Go ahead.
Oh, the time he took his shoes off on the
Remember that?
the point that you brought up is he's been this way since he's been in the league. Full disclosure, I've known Rob since he was 16 years old. He's been this way his entire life. He's he's a sweet kid. He has a good heart.
And there's
but
something
they've
about
but they've
being
known
authentic.
him. Yes, they've known he's been this way, and maybe that's why they let him get away.
Now
with
the
that
perception, they change everyone in New England. So at least they got one. They got one guy who can be
who
himself.
represents their personality.
That's why I bust Skip up every day. I get to be
Now
out.
that's a nice suit.
You like your CC?
I like that suit there. I like the suit.
LeBron
We were doing so well in this
We had to
conversation,
figure
so we
out-
just left the
LeBron called me and told me to wear something nice. So I brought the peak lapels because it's really formal.
But it ain't an important show though. But they are recording.
Yeah.
This one doesn't.
It's
really
not that
count.
important.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't important.
Anytime
right?
we talking about LeBron,
Hey, anytime you've been to 6 straight finals like I have.
no, you ain't been to 6. I've won. I'm undefeated.
No mercy. Leonard Fournette had his pro day yesterday and came in weighing 228 pounds, which is 12 pounds lighter than what he was at the NFL Combine last month. Fournette is projected by many to be a top 10 pick. Let's take a listen to Fournette yesterday.
You know, some people had concerns about me at 240. You know, they said if I get to the next level, it's different, so I might be 250 playing. So I just wanted to show them that I can stay on course, be disciplined, and do what I have to do, and get my stuff, get my business in order. My mom's been on me about what I'm eating. You know, basically just wanted to show everybody that I can lose the weight. You know, it really doesn't matter. You know, I'm gonna play good at any weight I want to, but you know, that's it.
We're joined by our Fox Sports college football analyst, Joel Klatt. Welcome, Joel.
Good morning.
Did Fournette's draft stock go up yesterday because of his weight loss?
You know, it's so interesting. Part of this, I tend to bristle at this process of like stock going up and stock going down when we're not actually playing football games. Right. You know, I mean, his body of work is his body of work. Leonard Fournette is a phenomenal football player, period. Now, I believe that he is somewhat of a one-dimensional producer at the running back position. You know, some others disagree with that. But when you talk about this process, this is what this process is all about. And Shannon, you know this better than anybody. This process is about a team trying to build a case against players. Because when you're a first-round talent, they're trying to find reasons why they shouldn't select you. There are plenty of first-round talents. Okay, there are reasons to select Leonard Fournette. You're trying to find reasons to not select him. So as a player, it's his job, it's his team's job to minimize that evidence, falsify that evidence, combat some of that evidence. And part of the equation for Leonard Fournette was the fact that teams were concerned that he weighed 240 pounds. So he brought that down to 228. You check a box off. You're trying to, it's like trying a case, okay? The prosecution is presenting evidence, and then you're sitting there and you're trying to combat that evidence. That's all this was for me, him coming in at 228. I think he's the same running back at 240 as he is at 228. So is his stock rising or falling? I think that depends on fit, guys. If you're talking about Carolina, that's a great fit. If you're talking to a team like Green Bay, I don't think that's a great fit. Running backs are a dependent position. They're dependent production elements. Therefore, fit has everything to do with it. Is his stock rising or falling? Depends on the team you're talking to.
I just want to know why was he at 240 to begin with. He didn't play in the bowl game. He had 10 weeks to prepare for this job interview. His first job interview was the combine.
Yep.
So why didn't you show up at this weight? Because a lot of times, a lot of people don't get a second chance for a job interview. You come in, put your best foot forward, your best suit and tie, or your best dress and heels on, lipstick, and you says, okay, this is who I am, this is what I am. He showed up at his first interview at 240. Why was he at 240? Because if he's at 240 at 20, guess where he's going to be at 23, Skip? 250, 255.
Yep.
So I'm glad he's shown the discipline that he could get the weight. But now I'm a little like, hold on, wait a minute. You had 10 weeks. You knew you were coming to talk to us about a job, and you showed up this? Now, he got a second chance because he had his pro day. He showed up at his pro day, his second interview, at a weight that says, okay, I'm serious about this. Because, Skip, if you show, because now I'm looking at you like, okay, wait a minute. You had 10 weeks. You knew you were coming to meet 32 guys that could offer you a job, and you show up like this? It's like if you go into college, you had the teacher give you 2 weeks to turn this paper in, and then you show up and like, this all you got? I don't deal with excuses. You can have results or excuses.
Yep.
Now, I will give him a plus that he lost the weight. This is something that I think he can maintain because very few running backs lose weight as they get older. And if he had gone to camp at 240, guess where he's going to be when it gets cold? And you don't sweat quite as much as you did in the two-a-day heat. Well, they don't do two-a-days anymore.
Yep.
But in training camp, in the first month of the season when it's really hot out. So I'm going to give him kudos, but I'm going to keep my eye because, hey, he looks like a guy that might like to eat because here's the thing. If your weight is a problem on a college budget, what are you going to be when you get $10 million of my dollars? And you can go and eat whatever you want, Skip. That's what I always say. Money doesn't change you. It just makes you more of what you already are.
I'm with Shannon on this one. I'm concerned about the severe drop, the severe weight, because I call that severe. That was crash diet weight loss. And I've had so many friends who have tried this diet and that diet. And what happens? You know what happens? The roller coaster takes effect because you crash. See Rob Parker. I've told you before, I'm not snitching on you, Rob, but he every year, and it's impressive to me, he can just crash diet.
25 pounds.
Drop 25 pounds, and I say, wow, that's incredible. And then you know what's coming next. And over time, the next goes up more, and it goes up more, and all the surveys will show you that routinely you will gain back more weight after each roller coaster diet. Okay, so am I saying this is going to be his, what's going to happen to him in pro football? It's going to be his routine? No, I don't know that. But that was a lot of weight to lose. And the concern was that he was at 240 to start with. And my biggest concern about him, I've said this before, Les Miles told me after his freshman year that he was going to be the Michael Jordan of the National Football League. And I bought it because I believe in Les Miles, and he was just so convicted about what he'd seen in this kid. He loves his intangibles on and off the field. And so I'm ready. My eyes are wide open to, I want to see the Michael Jordan of college football. And of course, I saw 31 yards in Tuscaloosa against the Alabama defense. And then I thought, okay, Michael Jordan's going to bounce back this year and say, watch this, I'm going to win a Heisman, and I'm going to show you what I can do against St. Nick's defense in Baton Rouge. And 35 yards happened. And I saw a running back who obviously is gifted because he can straight line run. What did he time?
4.51.
4.51. Great time at 240.
It is a great time. It's freakish time.
Yes.
But I don't see any make you miss. I don't see much wiggle at all. I don't see any of Adrian Peterson who could flat out in the hole.
Yeah,
he can make you miss in the hole. And once he gets untracked, Adrian Peterson, he ran 4.4. So I'm not seeing that guy because at your level, at the NFL level, power can't dominate power. You can't just run over people on defense the way you can when you're playing Syracuse.
Oh, you can for about a year or two.
I don't
you'll
know.
be up out the league.
The longevity then comes into question. Now, here's where I'll caution both of you. And Shannon, I know you were a fanatic about your weight. In fact, I read stories, and I've never talked to you about it, that you would drop literally a pound or two a year just to maintain your quickness as your career progressed.
Correct.
That's incredible discipline to maintain within a pound or two, okay? Not everybody behaves or diets or has that type of discipline with their body like you did when you played. The reason that I don't think this is a story, that I think it's fabricated because of the time frame in which we're at. In this draft, everything is news. Might even call it fake news. Is this wasn't a topic when Leonard Fournette was actually playing football at LSU. It was never a concern for Les Miles or the LSU faithful of what's the weight that Leonard Fournette is going to play out. Boy, he struggles with his weight. He struggles with his diet. And now all of a sudden it's an issue? I don't buy that. This wasn't a story or an issue for him as a producer for the LSU Tigers with that entire program on his back. So why would it be an issue moving forward?
Yeah, but it's not fabricated. It did happen. It went from 240 to 220. It's exaggerated, you could say.
I think that it's you can listen, and you know this because you were a fanatic about that pound or two. Water weight is an issue for players. Okay, I can tell you right now. Shannon could probably tell you as well. You could drop 5, 6, 7 pounds pretty easily within 3, 4, 5 days.
Yeah,
just very easily, not changing much about your diet, not changing much about what you do.
But you're going to gain it back. It'll come back at a rapid rate because what the body does is that once you deprive it of something, once it gets it back into its system, it holds on because it doesn't know when it's going to get it again.
I don't disagree.
Because the body has mechanism. It's like, I don't know when you're going to give me carbs. I don't know when you're going to give me water. And so when it comes back, that's why you see people balloon. Like, I don't know if you watch bodybuilding contests. You see them like they good. And after a week, you're like, dude, what happened? It's because, but here's the thing. Discipline is giving up something you want now for something you really, really want later.
Sure.
So you have to ask, that's all discipline is, Skip. I hate diet because you have a start and stop time. It's got to be a lifestyle.
Definitely.
It's got to be because here's the thing with college, you also know. College football player can be 5'10", and they'll say he's 6 foot and it's not a problem. But when an NFL's evaluator to get him, that 5'10" is going to be a problem.
Sure,
they're going to knock him on that. So Leonard Fournette could have been 280. As long as he go get them 150 and they win the game, they're fine with that. But that's not because, guess what? They're just giving them books and tuition. You about to get $4, $5 million of these people money.
The only thing I would say about that is that who's to say he didn't play at 240? So if you evaluated him as a first-round talent based on the way he played on the field, let's say he weighed listen, I don't buy a roster. Every time I go walk in, I do games every week. They give me a roster and they get height and weight. I write them down just because we're going to put the graphic up. I don't buy them one bit. They're off an inch. They're off 10, 15 pounds. So I don't care what he was listed at LSU. If I'm evaluating him and he says, yeah, I played at 240, then why would I have a problem if he weighed 240 at the combine? But some of these cases that are being made by NFL organizations, they've got to find a reason not to draft you. So they make a story out of something that maybe isn't there, and then he tried to combat that. Maybe he went too far with 12 pounds, guys. I'll give you that. I just don't think this is going to affect his stock whatsoever.
So is he still a high first-round pick for you?
I believe that he is. He's my second-best running back in the draft. And again, running back has more to do with fit than it does your personal production level. That's why I think a team like Carolina could really give him a long look in the first round.
I don't see how he gets past Carolina at 8, but all I'm saying is, Skip, you know this. If you're 240 at 20, you already know, Joel. You're not going to be 240 at no 25. No, that weight goes up.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
You know, Joel, these two go at it every day, but one thing they are on the same page on is fitness and what they eat.
I know, right? They're fanatics about it.
I'm the oddball here.
Shannon's talking about doing 2-a-days still in the gym.
3 a day, Skip.
3 days. You don't work out as much as I do, but it's okay.
That's the difference.
Okay.
See, you and housewives work out. I train. I'm an athlete. I train.
Man.
I train much harder than you train.
My favorite food is a donut.
No.
Oh, donut and coffee? You bet.
Joy loves tacos. Joy loves bread pudding. Joy loves wine.
We got to go to
cheese.
break.
I'm dry snitching.
No mercy. This is the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast, where we're delivering you an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the biggest topics of the day's show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, like us on Facebook at Undisputed on FS1, follow on Twitter at Undisputed, and catch us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday on FS1. You can find us on channel 219 on DirecTV, 150 on Dish. Thanks for listening, everyone. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. We're back for a Friday show tomorrow. We'll be joined by Chris Carter, Jim Jackson, and to all the Boys in the Hood fans, actor and Cowboys fan Morris Chestnut will be in the house tomorrow. Of course, I know we weren't in studio last Friday, but that didn't keep us from doing Dance Party Friday, but this week it will be in the house. So tweet me your suggestions at Joy Taylor Talks, and I might just pick your song to be on Dance Party Friday. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1. of one.